All right, and we're back to a old comic book movie.
Yeah, I know. Batman versus uh, what's this?
Batman versus what?
Batman versus Batman versus Judge Dredd is what it was.
Why'd you pick Batman?
Actually, it's more like Batman and Robin. This is like Batman and Robin in a way.
Really?
I don't know. It's not.
Really? To
This
you,
is
this feels like Batman and Robin.
this was almost. It was almost Batman and Robin level.
Huh? I don't see it that way. Actually, I felt that.
You didn't think it. You didn't think it was that good. You thought it was better than Batman and Robin.
Oh, this is better than Batman and Robin.
I could actually watch Batman and Robin again before I could watch this. I think,
Really? I thought this was
which
way
is
better
funny.
than last time I seen this.
Oh, actually, I think this is the worst. It's gotten worse as I've seen it. I mean, I remember when it came out, I was like waiting for this movie. I thought, and then when it came out, I remember thinking it was good. And I don't know what I was watching because I watched it just recently, like 2 days ago. I was thinking, oh, this this ain't that great.
So, did you already know the
Not that
comic book
great.
before the movie came out? Like,
Actually, I did not. No, I didn't.
oh, okay.
I mean, I think. Well, let's put it this way. Not really. I mean, I heard of Judge Dredd before the movie came out. I didn't ever read the comic book, but I did actually see because this came out in a movie. The Judge Dredd was in a comic book called 2000 AD,
Okay.
and I saw a movie that was based on something from 2000 AD. It's called what was it called? Hardware. Did you ever see? I don't know if you ever saw it. It's direct to video hardware.
Hardware. I think I heard of it. I don't think I seen it though.
Oh, you're
It
talking
sounds
about
very
it. It
familiar.
has it actually has them like they have a AC this like somebody out in the desert. I guess this girl. It's been so long since I've seen it. I would like to see it again.
Okay.
But it's kind of low budget movie where a girl finds like a head, I think, or somebody finds a head, or she buys it. Maybe she buys it. And she has one of those ABC warrior robots head, one of those ABC soldier head
Mm-hmm.
robots heads, but not like we see in this movie.
Oh.
But it's like the head. She brings it home, and then it gets into the wiring or something and kills all the people. Kills a lot
Okay.
of people in the
So,
house. But it
um,
takes place basically hardware would be part of this universe, the Dread universe, or
hardware would be part of
the
this
Judge Dredd
universe.
universe.
So,
Yeah.
the thing that I want to point out before we go any further is because this is a comic book movie, okay? And then you say you never seen a
This is
comic book.
comic movie.
Me neither. I never heard of the comic books before the
Well, it's
movie. But
more,
but
yeah, English.
oh, I mean English. What are you talking about?
It's England.
Oh, it
This is
is.
an English comic book. Yeah,
Oh,
this is not
okay.
American at all.
So
Yeah, no,
I'm so
that's
glad
why
you
we haven't seen it
So I'm
really.
so glad you brought that point up because in the beginning, like in the intro, right, they kind of show you all these comic book covers just in case you didn't
See,
know
I don't
this was
remember
like a.
that.
Oh, I mean in the movie, like they're like
Yeah,
they were
no,
showing the
I don't
covers.
remember that. Yeah, I know. I remember that this time, but when I watched the movie a long time ago, I don't remember them showing all the comic books for the cover, and I don't remember them using the original Judge Dredd title. You know how it's written in the comic book form,
Yeah,
the beginning of the movie. I don't remember ever seeing that.
I mean I seen this in
It
a
probably
theater.
was. This is not. I saw this at. I
Yeah,
think I saw
I
this in a
saw. I
theater.
know. I remember seeing this in a theater, but then I don't remember it being great. But then when I'm older, right? Let me tell you why I like this better than Batman and Robin. Batman and
Okay.
Robin, it seems very kiddish. Like it's really
Oh,
advertised for children,
that's the
right?
sad thing. To me, this felt very kiddish now.
It's still very like. Well, I
It
agree
felt
with you
very
on that
goofy.
because it's like rated all movies back in the '90s, right? For
Well,
today, it feels like
yeah,
PG-13. And the other
yeah.
thing I really like about this movie, I think it's just the point is because like the law doesn't make mistakes, right? Oh, really? So can you explain what happened to you? Oh, you can't
Yeah.
you? That was the best part of this whole movie for me. Like when they
That would have
because
been
it's
that probably I probably would have liked that if I was too busy thinking, oh, this is kind of
well,
long
let's just talk.
and
Well,
the
kind of long.
lines
This is
kind of
one of the
stupid.
shortest movies we've seen
It felt
on
long.
this
It got
whole
like it
thing.
kind of got longer. The
'Cause-
funny, yeah, that's the thing. I guess I thought I liked the movie, but after watching it, it's like, yeah, it's not really good. And I mean, it just wasn't a very good movie.
I think I liked it okay. I mean, I liked it better than
Okay.
I think because I went in there with like no or low expectations, and it
Oh,
turned
okay.
out actually better than I remember.
Well, I guess I was the opposite because I thought it was good, and then I watched it. And I was like, yeah, this is really not that good at all.
And like I remember you saying like Judge Dredd is not supposed to take off the helmets, right? But then they showed
He's
inside the
not supposed to
academy.
take his helmet off.
But now are they supposed to not take their helmets off outside, or is it okay when they go like before they go home
Well,
and
let's put it
stuff?
this way. Let's just put it this way. It's that's okay. I mean, I get your question, but in the comic book, Judge Dredd never took his helmet off.
Hmm.
Never showed his face in the comic book ever.
This, did you read the
He
comics
doesn't take his
after?
helmet off.
Because you said you never seen it before, so I want to know.
No, I got. Everybody knows this. This is
Oh,
just what everybody writes on the internet. Everybody's read the comic book. Says he and if you read even the book, I got the Making of Judge Dredd book right here.
oh wow. Well,
Even
that is
even
really
in this
nice.
book, even in this, oh yeah, this is nice. This is what made me want to see the movie, and this is what made me love the movie. It's
So you
got
got the
tons
book
of the model
before?
stuff. Oh
Oh, I
yeah,
like
I think I
everything in
did. I'm
there.
pretty sure I
It
did.
feels like a
But again,
Go ahead.
I was really into collecting the books. I guess my first book was like the Star Wars, making Star Wars
Hmm.
books. But I eventually got into, I got into the book. And I mean, the funny thing is, when I watched this and looked at all this, I thought this was amazing. But now I'm watching the special effects. They didn't age very well.
Yeah. Oh, well,
And the
obviously,
city
kind of like
feels
Total Recall and things
the
like that.
city's supposed to be claustrophobic, but it's so claustrophobic, it's like it's all contained in a little bitty warehouse. It feels like they're
Oh.
trying to make this whole city in a warehouse, a little tiny warehouse. And it didn't feel like a big extravagant city that's just packed together. But anyways, all the books, even this book, and everybody's made a point of that are fans of the movie. Even the director is supposed to be a huge fan of it. Judge Dredd doesn't take his helmet off. He's only taken his helmet off in one comic book, or if it does, it's either shadowed or they put a censor symbol over it.
Also, you can't see the face. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
you don't
Okay.
see his face. That's the thing. You don't ever see. He doesn't show his face to anybody. He's like a Mandalorian. He doesn't take his helmet off. That's who Judge Dredd
So
is. Nobody
you and
knows who
I,
he is.
so you and I can explain that since this was made in the '90s, right? You can't have a movie with Sylvester Stallone and not show his face. That's just it.
That's what they decided. I guess
Yeah.
why couldn't you? I mean, we already know there's another Judge Dredd movie coming out called Dredd. It's
Yeah.
amazing. He
But
never shows
then
his face.
But then that
He's
wasn't the
Judge
same
Dredd.
level as Stallone, though. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the agent's not gonna be like,
I
yeah,
know what you're
because
talking
then you
about,
don't.
but I also know this is kind of not a great movie. Stallone wasn't that good in this movie.
Oh, I
His
wasn't talking
lines were
about how
stupid.
good it was. I was just talking about like they're not gonna show like
Okay,
the
yeah, I
the
know
famous
that. I get
actor.
that.
Yeah.
I know they could have though. The movie would have been better. I mean, this movie was supposed to be serious, and then Stallone and the studios decided they didn't want it to be serious. They wanted to make it a comedy.
Hmm. I mean, there's not some serious
The
stuff.
movie when they got done with the movie, it was NC-17, and this movie still got an R rating. And Stallone in the studio wanted PG-13, so lots of more people could
More
see
can
it.
see it, but this is still rated R, right?
Oh yes, it's still rated R. They couldn't get it down because of the violence.
The
They took
violence,
out
yeah.
lots of stuff, like when the robot ripped the guy's arms off. You just see blood hit the floor.
Yeah. They don't show you that.
He's supposed to shoot up a tons of the clones, but they cut all that out.
Oh, even though they're clones, wow.
They cut out a lot of stuff.
They could probably do it to today, though. Even like once you explain they're clones, and they don't even
They
look
could do it
humans
today.
at
Well,
that point.
let me put it this way: they did it today. It's called Dread.
Well, we'll talk about that next week. But let's just stay on this, focus on this movie. I mean, like,
Okay.
one
It
of
was
the
hard to
things,
focus on this movie
one
because
one of the
a
things,
month
I
ago I saw
think maybe
Dread and then I
because
watched this.
I think it's because you already tainted your opinion, right? Like, do you think that would like affect that at all? Like, let's just say you didn't see
But
Dread first. Like, let's just
I
say you
bet you
never seen Dread.
if I never saw Dread,
Yeah.
I actually think this movie would have not be as still as I probably wouldn't hate it near as much. I don't even hate the movie. Actually, I still like it. It's not that good.
You
It's
know what
just
I
not a
like?
good movie.
I like everything I
You
see in
know,
like the what is
I
it?
think a lot of the '90s movies are just kind of.
It's
I'm
tough,
getting to a
yeah.
point where I just don't
It's
like the '90s movies
it
that
doesn't
much.
age well.
It's actually not even as good as a lot of the '80s movies to me. Some of the special effects, because Blade Runner's special effects, Blade Runner's older
Way
than Judge
older
Dredd,
than this.
and the city looks bigger.
Yeah. It's kind of like
The flying cars look more realistic.
this is
I
like
think
Total
I
Recall,
feel
but they
like
have
I
daytime.
feel like yeah, well, I feel like they had a lot of cheap special
And very
effects. They
cyberpunk too.
I saw something they said they asked Danny Cannon, why do you want to shoot it in England? He goes, oh, there's more experts in England than there is. I was like,
What does he
more
mean by
experts in what?
experts? Yeah, like what
I don't
experts
know.
of
More
what?
expert. He said more film experts is what he said.
Huh. That's
I'm
strange.
thinking, I've seen this movie. It's not the special effects aren't that good. Because especially when they're flying through the city.
Yeah.
Look at the background; it's all faded.
Oh,
It
I
looks
didn't
like
pay attention to
1970s
that.
special effects. Oh, a lot of it's faded out because it's like they put up a big old movie screen and they filmed them on it in front of a movie
You know,
screen instead of integrating the film together.
so
Because like I said, a lot of 80s movies have better
I want to
special
make some
effects than this.
comments because I didn't
All
even,
right.
first of all, I didn't know this was like a British comic book, right? So I kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, maybe that's why they want to shoot in England, but then the excuse they tell us is the expert thing. In my opinion, I'm thinking like,
That's what it said
yeah.
on it. That's what
So
in the interview.
remember when Captain America was about to come on and I say, if they don't cast an American, I'm gonna move out of this country. I feel like this is the same thing, right? Like they gotta shoot Judge Dredd in England or something, and I feel like a lot of the I guess the IPs, the intellectual properties of other, even though this is a British movie, right? Oh, I'm sorry, British produced comic book. It was like the Americans, like Hollywood, has to make a live version of this. Like now this is one example. The other example is Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes also based in Britain, right? But then like Americans are the one that make a live version of this, and it's not only for Caucasian produced stuff, right? But like even Japanese stuff. Remember when Japanese like it's the one that made initial D with the anime and the comic books and all that, and then people from Hong Kong made a live action of that using Chinese people shooting in Japan. It feels like Hollywood and I guess Hong Kong, the film industry, are more top tier than the other ones. It's kind of like it's because the way I say this with Judge Dredd, Sherlock Holmes, Initial D, even Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball has an American movie and also a China or Taiwan movie that the country of origins didn't even make the live actions themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, what did a lot of these countries gonna make it with, though, I guess.
I don't know. I think they just because maybe they don't have the best filmmaking techniques or
Maybe. Well,
whatever.
I mean, this thing is though. This movie is an American movie.
Oh, this is an American movie, yeah.
And I mean,
Did they even hire a
it'd
British
most.
actor in this movie?
Yeah, they had a bunch of. It was made in England, and when they make English films, you have to hire a whole bunch of English actors. That's why Star Wars. A lot of actors in Star Wars that they make it over in
Oh,
England.
because
That's why
it's
they got to have a
local,
lot.
yeah.
They have a lot of English accent. Well, they have. It's their rules.
Is the guy who played Rico? No, he's an American. What about the guy who
No,
played
yeah.
Fargo? Oh, he's
No, he is.
Swedish. He's
Yeah, he's
Swedish.
Swedish. There's a lot of
He's
Swedish
also
guys.
a Minority Report. He always played that type of like stereotypical, like higher up law enforcement person.
He's been on quite a few things.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, the movie, the comic book, even the British comic book, it takes place in America. I mean, Judge Dredd
Oh, it
is
does.
an American. Well,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
Mega City One's Mega City One's in America.
Yeah, because they have the Statue of Liberty here too. You know what
Well,
really
in this
bothered me
movie
that
they
it
do.
shouldn't really bother me? The guy, was it Amon Asante that plays Rico? He looks
Yeah,
like Tom Sizemore to me, or Tom Sizemore, however you pronounce his name. Like, doesn't
Sizemore,
he?
Sizemore.
Sizemore, right? Like,
I
for
didn't think
me,
he did
like,
at all, but I do think it's funny when he goes. I do like it when
it was
there's
a
a
lot of
scene where he comes up
overacting.
behind. He comes up behind Stallone. He goes, "Oh, we look just alike." It's like,
No,
no,
no, no,
you
you don't.
don't. And they were both wore contacts to make their eyes blue.
Oh, is that what that they did?
Yeah, so
You,
they look like they're brothers.
you know what I
It's
noticed
like,
that they make Stallone do? It's kind of like Tom Cruise in the running thing. They always make him shoot like this. Like every shot, like he's shooting like this, right? Like,
oh, he does a lot of because they kind of make he did a lot of shots where he sound funny, he talked funny. I mean, he was the star, and they try to make him bigger in life in
ah,
this movie, and that's
okay.
fine. I mean, I actually originally when the first movie come out, I thought, oh yeah, he'd make a good Judge Dredd. I mean, and
He
yeah,
would.
the best thing when he
Yeah.
says, yeah, the line he says is, "I am the law," but. after a while, the worst thing, to me, it started to get on my nerves is every time they'd say, and they
Uh-huh.
even made fun of it. But the funny thing is, if it gets on your nerves and someone makes fun of it, it's not that funny still. When he always said, "Oh, I knew you'd say
Oh, I
that,"
know. I was gonna point that out. I knew you'd
it's
say that.
like,
Uh,
okay, and
and
it just
yeah.
made me want to say what. It just made me want to use one of their cuss words from their deals. Was it Drac or Drake? What did they say? Remember when he kicks in the door and one of them guys says a cuss word. It's supposed to say the F word, I guess, but he doesn't even say it. He
Oh.
says some kind of word from their time. I thought,
Oh.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
kind of cool.
remember. You know what I really like though? After they show the comic book covers, right? They Darth Vader introduced this movie for us.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was.
Just James Earl Jones. I just
So,
paused the
are you
movie
sure
to
that
see what
was?
this.
Were you sure that was James
Yeah,
Earl
it
Jones?
even
Did it say
credited
it
on
was?
him.
Okay,
Yeah, it did.
okay, good. All I
And
thought it sounded like him, but I wasn't
yeah,
sure if
and
that
then
was
like the
really
other thing
him.
I think, like when you say it's a comedy, right? And say eat recycled food, I'm like, what the hell is recycled food?
I don't. That
I mean,
don't make any
like, I'm
sense.
not sure if the comic book have maybe minor jokes like that in it, but
Well, the comic
like,
book's kind of like that. I mean, it's in the future, and it's just silly. It's supposed to be satire, and they try to do that. But the problem is, like I said, you had two people trying to make a movie. You had the director, and then you had Stallone.
hmm,
Matter of fact, I think they said that Danny Cannon
Danny
didn't even
Cannon,
get to see the. He didn't even get to be part of the reshoots.
really? Is
Yeah,
that
and he
what you
said
read?
that.
Wow.
Yeah, he also said Stallone was one of the worst actors that he ever. Well, I wouldn't say he's the worst actor he worked with. He was the most too
Hard, yeah,
difficult to work
difficult to
with.
work with.
It was difficult work because Stallone kept wanting to change the lines to make them more comical.
So, well, I wonder why the comical thing. That's weird.
I don't know. I guess because he thought it was a comedy. Because Stallone never heard of Judge Dredd.
You know, a lot of people that play these title characters never heard of those title
Yeah, they never
characters.
heard it
Yeah.
because they were never really nerds. So I'm like, I hate it when they're part of nerd projects act like, oh yeah, I was a nerd. I was like, yeah, right.
You talk about the production thing. I actually wrote a note here. I wonder how many of these shots are real, as in location, versus studio built. It's probably like a small
I
studio.
bet
Like,
you.
you know, it's
I
funny,
would
funny when you
think
say
almost all
small
of
studio because in England there's not like a lot of space where they can make a
they
big giant
actually
studio.
they have a giant studio though, Pinewood Studio. I think it's Pinewood Studios, the one for James Bond. I think at one
Oh,
time they had the biggest soundstage in the world.
at one time.
So yeah, they're not. That's why they make so many films in England because it's cheaper to make films there. There are a lot of people that do know about the film industry,
Yeah.
but I mean, just the effects thing though, I was thinking, yeah, they're not really that good compared to a lot of other stuff that's come out.
No.
I think this was just a, I think this was just a movie they thought, well, Stone's going to be in it. Demolition Man came out. RoboCop, RoboCop's based on Judge Dredd.
It's very familiar. Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah, because RoboCop is Judge
RoboCop is
Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
They just didn't buy the IP and all that, so they had to change it.
You know the robot?
So I mean, they
Huh.
thought this was going to be a huge hit, and it was in a way a hit. A lot of people come out of even the guy that wrote Judge Dredd comic book and created him. He didn't. He's like he wasn't really happy with the movie. He was happy they made a movie on it based on his stuff, and he thought Stallone would make a good Judge Dredd. He just thought the story they told and the acting and the way the movie was didn't work.
No. No. Yeah, the
I
only
think a lot of
thing.
people want. I
Oh.
think people wanted a darker movie, a more crime-filled movie.
Yeah, more in tune with whatever we're going to talk
But
about next week.
this is a very, hey, this is Stallone's work. Look at Stallone on the screen. He's a superhero and he's a Hollywood legend. I mean, I like Stallone.
I do too.
But the thing is, but then to me, this movie wasn't about Judge Dredd. It was about Stallone. I mean, this is more Last Action Hero than anything.
This, if it could be very similar to
This
Last
is better
Action
than
Hero,
this is better than Last Action
but
Hero. I feel,
it's like you said that
but
like
it
it
was very
seems
Last
like a
Action
serious
Hero.
movie, but there's too much comedic stuff. I mean, like there could be
There's
some
too much
comedic
little
stuff,
stuff. I mean, they try to.
but
I mean, I think there was a good movie written, and then I think they kind of overwrote it.
yeah, I have no idea
Like the
about the
point you said,
reshoot
because
things.
see, like Dredd is supposed to be all about the law, and then it turns out the law is not on his side. That's what you think would have been interesting. If they would have followed that more closely, that would have been better. But they really didn't.
No, no, they didn't.
They
It's
kind
like
of let
they
it
could
fall
have done
apart.
it
I mean,
better.
there's a lot of stuff in here. Like when Rico, when the new judge, for what is his name, the new judge,
The
justice,
not just the one that took
chief
over his
judge,
spots, right? Yeah.
yeah, the one that took over his spot, he wanted to open another program, and he tricked all the other judges into signing off on it,
Signing
and
off
then
so
they
he
gave
could.
him control, and then he had Rico come in there and kill them all. I mean, that's a pretty good idea. I mean, that was a good part, but the problem is then it goes back to silliness again.
Yeah, you know what? It feels like the reshoots. You can tell when the reshoots are. The seriousness was really good. Like what I told you about the Rob Schneider saying the thing, right? But you know what's really funny? At the end, they didn't touch on that. They didn't touch on like maybe we should change things for the better. Like the law does make mistakes sometimes, but it didn't.
Yeah,
It
they
didn't
really
go
don't.
to that. They opened that door, but then there's nothing
Yeah, but here's
continuing that.
here's where the movie here's where the movie goes off the rails. They don't really fix nothing. He goes out, he doesn't want to do nothing. He doesn't even have his helmet on. He walks down the steps,
Yeah.
kisses the girl because he wanted to die. The sidekick, he gets wheeled off on a stretcher. Even though they said, I think somebody said that there's supposed to be a novel for this and a comic book
Oh, really? Adaptation?
adaptation. And Rob Snyder, Fergie's character, dies at the end.
I thought he died at
Yeah,
the end because he got shot by that robot.
but he doesn't. Remember, they kill him off Remember, the ambulance takes him away, and he asks him if they can go to an ATM before on his way.
Yeah, that's funny. Yep.
It's like what?
Yeah.
And then of course he kisses. Like I said, Judge Dredd kisses the girl and puts his helmet on and
Did you like
rides
the
off into the
robot?
sunset. I mean, this is more of a John Wayne type thing.
I like the robot in this movie because
The robot was
it was good for
interesting, but not.
1995
It was good for 1995. It's not
because
good now.
it looks real. At that time, it looks like a big giant thing they make simply, so they don't have to do special effects.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't like it. I like the makeup for the guy that had all the
oh, the robot
augmentations.
stuff. Yeah, that's the cyberpunk
Yeah,
guy. Yes.
well, I guess you call it cyberpunk. The half robot guy.
Yeah.
What did you call the holy cannibals? Is
Yeah,
what
the
they
holy
was.
cannibals. Yep.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I didn't like it in the movie. I didn't like the way they looked, the way they acted, because you didn't
They
really
were
see that
very
much of it.
silly.
But if you have the book, like I said, the making of,
Hmm.
and you see all the makeup and all the special effects they went through, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty impressive.
No, yeah, that one
It just
that
didn't.
one was
It
really
didn't come
good.
out on screen, and it just didn't come out on screen. The fight was a little silly.
Yeah, it's still 90s American cinema
I mean,
fighting.
they were supposed to be silly, but they were supposed to be silly. I mean, those characters are supposed to be a little crazy.
Oh, the
And I
holy
mean,
cannibals.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're supposed to be kind of what? They're supposed to be a bunch of hillbillies, I guess you could say.
And I guess I could make sense of why they put Rob Schneider as a comic relief in this
Well, the
movie.
thing is, it's supposed to be Joe Pesci.
Oh, that possible to be Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci was supposed to be in this movie, they say, and then he turned it down, and then a Stallone called Rob Snyder because he worked with him in another movie and thought he was funny.
Huh.
It was called Demolition Man.
So Demolition Man did come out before this.
Yeah, Demolition Man
Oh,
came
it
out
did. I
before
remember.
this.
Yeah, it came out before this. Wow.
No, I
Now that
mean,
we
the funny
talked
thing
about
is,
it, yeah, I don't like
and
this
the
as
funny
much,
thing,
but I just like
the
the
funny thing is,
seriousness part.
the director wanted Stallone,
But yeah, because like you said, like he does look like he does fit the Judge
but
Dredd
after he got
character.
him, he's thinking, "Oh, this is a bad deal."
Maybe
And
Stallone at that time was trying to make
Stallone was actually one of
more
the highest paid actors with this movie, or for a comic book movie.
Demolition Man. Huh.
Yeah, I guess they thought it was going to be Demolition Man, but Demolition Man was more entertaining, way more entertaining.
Yeah,
Demolition Man
Demolition Man was
sits
way
up
more
there,
entertaining with this.
way up on my list of movies to see or recommend. I would have actually, if somebody said, "Hey, watch," I saw Dread, I would have at one time recommended this movie, but now I don't know.
Well, I think it's because that was the only thing that we got for a long time. I mean, like it's surprising
Yeah, it
with
was on the
this, right? They
time.
still make the Dread back in 2012.
Yeah,
I mean, like after
I
that
mean,
one, there's no more. Like there's not another Dread movie.
yeah. I think though, to me, I think I would. The only reason I said this is like Batman and Robin is supposed to be one way, and then they took it kind of to a ridiculous level. I mean, it's like it was a real good, it's like a serious movie, good, a lot of special effects, trying to make a big budget superhero movie and stuff, but the characters just didn't take it, and the actors in it didn't seem to me to take it very serious.
I think Rico a lot of times is like really a lot of overacting. like his character.
He's still a lot of overactor, but he also seems like he's trying to take part of it seriously,
Yeah, I think it depends on
But
who
to
was to be
me,
behind the camera to the
Stallone
scenes.
doesn't. I don't feel like Stallone took it very seriously.
Some parts, like the
Yeah,
trial, was
sometimes it
pretty
seems
good.
like he
Like the
didn't. Yeah,
serious
the
part is
trial
good.
was. There's some serious parts, but then there is some parts where he's just like, I'm Judge Dredd.
The part with
I
just
say my lines.
the chief justice was really good. The acting was really good. Like
Yeah.
the
Well,
seriousness
those are serious.
with the
Yeah.
older
And
mentor.
I'm not saying that. It was just, it was kind of a, what you're this way, and then all of a sudden the next scene's not this way. It's like, it's like the directing was bad, but you can't see the directing was bad because this is probably not the scenes we're seeing that we don't like or weren't very well acted weren't probably directed by the
By the
director.
director. Yeah, I think that's why you could tell.
They're
Like
probably
now,
directed by somebody else.
because now that you told me that, right? Like it feels like we can tell. Like if I would do a rewatch,
Well,
like oh, this is probably
I'm
Danny.
actually happy. Well, I'm happy I read this because after I watched this movie, I remember after watching this movie a long time ago, I didn't like Danny Cannon after that,
Oh,
even
really?
though I didn't think that the movie's bad. Because I just thought, because he was part of other movies and wrote on other movies that
Yeah.
weren't that great too. So I was like, I'm gonna blame Danny Cannon for that.
I'm just gonna take a look real quick. Let's see. Dan,
Can't
anything
blame
that
Danny.
you know?
I'm not gonna blame. I'm not gonna blame. Well, I thought he. Let me get on my deal because I did get to look at the stuff he did.
Strangers. Okay, let me see. Phoenix. There's a movie called
Some of his stuff,
Phoenix.
a lot of his stuff I haven't seen.
He directed I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, I still know what you did last summer, the second one.
Well, that's the sad thing. That was actually decent.
And the only other one thing is a soccer film, Go the Second The Dream Begins. Huh. Wow, he
Let's
hasn't
see.
done a lot of movies. Only like 7 I see here. I mean like TV
I think he
show.
did more on writing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Danny Cannon. Where is Danny Cannon?
Gotham Knights. Wow.
Hey, I like Gotham Knights. I think. Maybe I didn't know. I didn't like Gotham Knights. I never saw it.
He's also did Gotham.
Oh, did he
Uh
do Gotham?
he
No, I
directed
see
the series
Pennyworth. I never got.
pilot.
I never. Oh, I did see Gotham. I
Oh, he
liked
directed
Gotham. I
11
remember.
episodes.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Gotham. When Gotham came out, it had his name attached to it. I thought, oh, it's not gonna be that great. And then I watched it. I was like, this is actually really
Oh,
good.
Gotham is really good, yeah. Maybe because like if he had to tell a story in a short amount of time, he's not as good as telling the story in in episodes, like a longer set. That makes sense, right? Because you only have a short amount of time in the movies, opposed to in the TV series. Because
Actually,
Ryan,
yeah. Danny Cannon hasn't done a lot,
yeah, my son asked me the other.
so I think I probably got
No, my
confused with somebody
son
else.
asked me today because he was listening to the theme song for the Netflix version of Daredevil, right? Then he asked me like, "Hey, Dad, there's no movie version of Daredevil." I'm like, "Ah, there is a movie version, but like, I guess I will let him have. I probably have to show him that movie so he can be. He probably loves it if I show him the Ben Affleck Daredevil opposed to the TV show.
Well, yeah, I think he would. I actually like the Daredevil movie. I know it's got its shortcomings and stuff, and it's kind of, and as it gets older, it gets long. It feels like it gets longer. But I thought it had some stuff to actually give you a good insight to
To Daredevil,
Daredevil.
it's a
It's a good,
short
yeah.
telling, yeah. So if I show
There's
Ryan that, he probably get it like, oh, these are the bad guys and stuff. Because I don't think he knows
I
that
think for
Kingpin is
I think
the villain.
at the time it came out, yeah, at the
Oh,
time
the
that
time it
Daredevil
came
came
out,
out,
yeah,
it was good.
it
I
was
mean, I know
awesome
some
because there
people
was
didn't like it,
nothing. Because there's nothing
but I
like.
thought it was pretty awesome. Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome.
No,
And
it
then
was
after when
awesome.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the funny thing about Daredevil when it came out. I mean, I know some people didn't like it, but most people go, "Oh, it's so good, it's so good." A lot of people liked it. Oh, everybody talked to you about it. Then after a few years pass, everybody tells you, "Oh, Daredevil, it was awful. It was god awful."
Yeah, I think it was after a few years after it came out because like at that time,
But that's the thing
oh,
about it's like a lot of movies though. You go to the theater. I mean, if the a theater will make a movie good. Because there's so many movies I can think about when I walked out of the theater. I thought, wow, this is amazing. And
a
then you watch it
theater
later
will
on,
make
it's
a
like,
really good, huh?
can make it good.
Interesting.
Depending on the type of movie, I'm thinking, if it's a lot of action stuff and a lot of good set music and stuff, I think it, I mean, it sound, I mean, it's a lot of good sound and stuff. all the effects, sound effects are good. I think you come out pumped up, and then you're just automatically, you're oh, this is good. And then after you watch it on theater, watch it at home, and you're like, why did I watch it at the theater? Because this isn't it. I really did. Don't you ever come out of a movie just like pumped up, and then maybe later on kind of go, it's not near as good as what I thought.
Oh, I don't.
Because I know there's a lot of movies out there where people at the time the movie come out, people say it was so great, and then years later, people go, "Oh,
I don't think I ever felt that way. I think sometimes when I come out of the movie theater, it was probably a lot better than I thought it was, like the trailer. Because sometimes
oh,
the
okay."
trailer hypes it up too much, and then when
Well,
you
yeah, that's
watch
the
it, it's like
thing.
there's a
But there's a
letdown,
lot of movies. But when you say that, though, for me, though, there's a lot of movies where I see the trailer and then I watch the movie, and the movie's not as good as the trailer.
which is
You
funny,
know,
right? Which just doesn't
especially,
make any sense
especially well,
because
especially if it's a movie you're really into, like when J.J. Abrams' Star Trek come out. I watched the crap out of that trailer. I watched that trailer
I want
all
to
the way in.
comment
I
on
already
that.
had that movie figured out.
I want to
And then when I saw
comment
the
that
movie, I was like,
because I want
the
to comment
movie's
on that.
good, but it's not
I think it's
that
because
good.
like from the way that we watch trailers, right? We have too much expectation, like we think what's gonna happen. So when that
I
stuff
think
didn't
so.
happen, right? And then now the movie sucks.
Well,
Does that make
the problem
sense?
is you watch it. Yeah, well, it is. I mean, from that trailer, I watched the Star Trek, that trailer. I mean, that was the greatest movie I ever saw. And then when I saw the movie, it's like, yeah, this is not really as good as the movie I had in my head.
Yeah,
And that happens a
exactly.
lot.
Yeah, because
There's a lot.
I
What is
think
it, The
because when we
Wolfman?
put too
The
much
trailer looks
expectations,
awesome.
we destroy what is an actual good movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, or
the
they,
movie
or
is good, but then we have too much of a high expectations for it. Now we're gonna rip it apart. Like, oh, they didn't do it this way. Well,
yeah.
yeah, because it's not your movie.
Well, hey, that's what they led me to believe in the trailer. That's their own fault.
Oh, I would only agree with that because
Yeah, it
they
is.
had
It's their
you
fault. It's their
because it's
fault. They
like
should have shown. They
it's
should have
your
shown me so
fault
much.
that you have too high of an
No, they shouldn't have
expectation.
shown. They should have gave me so much of a trailer. They should have just gave me a little bit, like all the Marvel movies. They just give you a little bit to get you in there.
But
They
then you're
only give you
speaking
enough
in
to
a
make a
way,
story.
but you're speaking in a way the trailer's only made for you and not for the general public,
I'm
right?
speaking in a way that just makes me happy. Okay,
Yeah. So just selfishness. Yeah. Yep.
but I am a selfish person, like most humans on this
Like
planet.
Bohemian. Yep. I was gonna agree with that. Yep.
But I mean, you do that too, though. You
Oh, I
watch the
do.
movie. There's
Yeah.
several times,
You watch
and
the
you go,
trailer
"Oh,
and
this
you're
is
like,
not
oh,
as
they
good
should have
as."
done
There's,
this.
there's
Yeah.
several times me and you saw movies. You look at me and go, "This is not as good as the trailer."
Oh yes. Oh, I do remember. Yeah. Like, oh, what the hell is going on here? Like the
That's the
only.
thing, though. If we don't like the, if we don't, we're sitting there, we don't like that movie, though. Is it? Why we say it's good?
Oh, we won't say it's good.
Oh
I mean,
well,
like we
sometimes we
might
do.
try we
There is
might
some movies
try
we
to say that like, well, at least they tried this, but I don't want to.
yeah. There are some movies I try to say it's good. I try to be good about it, but
But I don't want to.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, yeah. Or you go watch
Uh,
it. Like there's some movies that you watch and you'll try to tell it everybody's good, and then you'll go watch it again. And it's like, what was I talking about?
yeah.
Because apparently I didn't see that movie either. Because people there's somebody over there at their house thinking that, that damn Shane. He don't know
We're
what he's
gonna we're
talking
gonna
about.
destroy what we just said next week. Watch. Let's not touch on that until next week, because like I was trying when you mentioned that I'm thinking like one of the trailers I seen that blew up right like and then it was really good was Road One. Even though there's some like
Yeah.
because I've seen that trailer so many times, Road One, I immediately noticed like oh this scene is not in the movie.
Well, the lucky thing for me is I wasn't focused on Rogue One.
How do you mean like the trailer or
Uh,
just the movie?
well, I wasn't on the trailer. I mean, I wasn't. I'm not like a. I was like when I was little. I loved Star Wars like crazy. But as I got older, I'm not. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars. I think it's cool and it's very interesting. I guess I'm kind of more of a fan of Star Wars now because I've hung around you. You know, and well, that's the thing. It's come back to that point. I watch a
Yeah.
lot of Star Wars, but it's only because that's something that you do. You like keep sending me lightsabers. I got like 3 lightsabers, dude. They're awesome. That's cool. But I mean, like I
They're
said,
awesome.
I'm a fan because one of my friends is a fan. It's
Ah,
something for me and you to talk about.
but you had
But
that
I
Darth
enjoy
Vader's
Star,
lightsaber a long time
which
too.
which is weird. Yeah, I did. Okay, I like Star Wars. I'm a
Yeah.
Star Wars fan, but I'm not like as hardcore as you. But the problem is, the thing is, though, I've gotten to where I watch more Star Wars than I watch Marvel. You know,
Huh.
When I, it was
That's
the
right.
point where all I did was Marvel, oh Marvel, Marvel, Marvel.
Because
Now
you
then I
watch
started
more
watching
Star
Star
Wars
Wars.
TV series now. Like you watch
Yes,
two that I
yeah, I
haven't
know.
seen yet.
There was a whole bunch of I was always going, "Hey, Lamb, you got to watch this," because
I
I
know. I
figured
still
I was
haven't
under
seen
the
it.
I was well. The funny thing is, I was under the impression you've seen a lot of it, and then I thought we'll talk about it. And you're like, "I haven't seen that yet." I'm
I
like,
know. Shoot.
"I'd just spoil. I'd
I
have
feel
spoiled
so
it for
bad.
you. I'd have spoiled it for you." But anyways,
That doesn't work for me. Spoiling.
the sad thing is, I've gotten away from the point I was going to make.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was going to make a point. I probably won't
Oh,
ever
did
get
you
back to
forget?
it. But I don't know if I was ever really had a point. That's the sad thing. But
No, I. Well, yeah. I mean, uh,
I mean,
fans of
there's just some.
stuff.
Yeah, well,
I
you're
mean,
fans
there's
of
gotta be
stuff,
still
but
a cult following for even Judge Dredd movie, right? Like
well,
not
this
a
thing,
hundred
like,
percent.
okay, let's go with the things I like. All right,
Okay.
why I like this movie because I like the uniform that Judge Dredd wore.
Oh, I was gonna say I love
It's
all the
not,
stuff. Yep.
it's not as cool as Dredd. It got cooler, but in this uniform, I didn't like it near as much. But the helmet still looks good.
The
The
helmet still looks
gun,
good. Yep.
the lawgiver. I like
Yep.
the new lawgiver better because it looks more realistic. But I love the lawgiver in this because it's
Yep.
more RoboCop-ish.
Oh yeah.
The bike, the bikes are
The
still
bikes
awesome.
were
I didn't really care for
awesome.
the flying bike. I didn't really care for the flying bikes, but when they drive up on those big old bikes,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep. The
I didn't like the
all the
computer. I didn't like
technology.
the Yeah, I didn't like the computer effects all that much.
No, because that's the
And then I guess
1995 stuff. But yeah.
and now I kind of like. I'm not really. I don't like all the buildings now, but when this movie came out,
Oh, it looks good at that time.
the
Yep.
models. Oh, I love the models of the building, how they built it, all the stuff, and I still like the special effects. Like the character, the guy with all the robot stuff in him. The ABC robot, it's got dated, but it's still cool. I like the head.
Yeah, well, they did say it was even dated back then. Like, even in the movie, like, whoa, they haven't been inactive for like 60, 80
Yeah,
years or whatever. And then
yeah, well,
he's,
yeah, but they live in the year 21. What was that? Year 21 something.
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. So he judged by. I
and
thought
and then
the
I mean
robot,
a
hold
lot
on,
of
before the robot reminds me of
okay.
the real steel robots. Like the
Oh yeah, he
size
looks
and
like the
like
real
the
steel robot,
boxing.
which I
Yeah,
like the real steel. Yeah, I like the real steel robots.
I do too.
The model, and they used a lot of models on this. They used a lot of model photography that just don't, for some reason, I don't know.
It
They
didn't
need to
work
go
very
back and clean
well.
up the film. I think they need to go back and clean up the film. You
It
know how
didn't look
like
as
Star
good as
Wars got.
Star Wars yet.
Well, yeah, but Star Wars they went back and cleaned up the film because Star Wars had a lot of where you see like a model over a screen and the
Yeah.
background was faded. They just need to go back and probably fix it a little bit.
You know
They
what?
could actually, they could go back and do a director's cut.
They could, but there's no money in it. Who owns this now, by the way? Who is
No.
this distributed by?
Oh, this was
Brenda
20th Century
Vista.
Fox. Oh, what's
Oh,
this point of it? I thought this
it's
was
Brenda
20th Century
Vista.
Fox.
It says Brenda Vista.
Okay, well, Synergy.
But it's production though. So, but like, oh, Brenda Vista is owned by Disney anyway.
Okay.
It's owned by Disney anyway. I'm just highlighting it. It says Walt Disney Pictures or Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. Wow.
Well, they can
Oh,
go back.
you know what I really like? I like the
Oh, it's Hollywood. It is. It's Hollywood Pictures.
yeah. I really like the Hollywood Pictures. Yeah, I see it. Um, that is registered to the DNA. Does that make sense? Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
cannot use the
Well,
gun unless you register to
and
that. I
that's
love
from the
that.
comic books. Yeah, that's from the comic books too.
I like that technology. I wish we had something like that. Like, so you already know. And let's see, things I really like. I was gonna say like Rob Snyder's character, because he brought out
He's okay.
no, because the only thing I like about his character is because like he thought about that stuff. Like, yeah, I didn't think it was fair that he got 5 years, but like they don't listen to him because the law doesn't make
Yeah,
mistakes. But when he finally, like I
no.
said before, like yeah, like I did like that
But the
Dredd
problem
didn't
is,
answer, but they never resolved that. That's the thing I don't
yeah.
like.
Well, the thing is, and here's the funny thing is, Judge Dredd was the one that decided his fate, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it wasn't a machine or a book, really. I mean, Judge Dredd goes, "I'm just going to give you this much." That's really basically what he did to everybody. He's like, I am infallible. So,
Yeah. He think he's right all the time.
but like we're in the deals where we like the models. Like I like all the models, like the
Oh, I like all the
space,
models.
the airship. Yeah, the police airship that they had that takes all the prisoners was cool. the docking station where the thing comes in and lands. That was a big old model
Yeah.
where they put live action to it. I thought that was a pretty cool scene.
The special effects was okay at that time with the motorcycle chase scene.
I still think they're a little behind,
It
even
was
up for their
okay.
time.
I wouldn't say it was the best. It's a little behind. It feels like an '80s movie.
Yeah, but like I said, there's some 80s movies that could beat it in special
But
effects.
then
So
I now because it may be because it was done in England, so that's why it was a little bit
yeah,
behind.
but technically Star Wars was done in England too. So, but
Yeah, but I
I
think
think
it's the studio.
it's probably the production house they
Yeah,
used or
this
whoever did the
protection. Yep.
special effects. It wasn't ILM, so
Yeah, it's not. Oh, let's see what else. The story
well,
was okay.
I think it was a lot of stuff was so 90s, because you remember how the 90s, the textures, the lots of grays, blacks, and stuff,
Shoot,
and
even that
like
thing
the
looks like a
because
old football
yeah,
uniform.
yeah, it does. I think the eagle thing on his shoulder and stuff. I think I like the uniforms, but the eagle thing was too much.
Yeah,
Even though that
it's
they would
really
have the
huge.
eagle on, they had that eagle in the comic books. Yeah, in the comic book though, he almost has this huge eagle on him too. He has all this weird stuff. I mean, in the comic book, he does look like Stallone. I mean, the way he walks,
Yeah,
stands, and stuff.
yeah. I think that's why it looks like such a good fit for Stallone to play Dredd. It's just that maybe if
Because
they
the
make it
problem is,
darker, it would have been better.
I got too much
Hey, you know
Stallone and
what
not
it
enough
is?
Dread.
This is the time, like when you say it was comical, right? This is the time period where you think comic books are like supposed to be fun, not like dark, dark.
In the 90s? Come on, we had the best
No, I'm not
X-Men
talking
during
about
the
I'm
90s.
not talking about the
Wolverine.
90s. I'm not talking about like the 90s. Like I'm talking about the people's stereotype thought of comic
Oh,
books.
you mean people who never read comic books?
Yep.
So what you're saying is Stallone thought it was going to be a Disney comic book? He must have read a lot of Archie. He probably read a lot of Archie
Or
comic
stuff
books.
like maybe he never read a comic book.
Because
This is his
because
view of
remember
it.
because you remember how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were when they're in the Archie comics.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a prime example of what you're trying to point out from me. Because the comic book
So
is
what you're
super
saying?
dark.
Hey, that's the same thing. I
And
just
they
thought about it.
comic sized it.
If we ever did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm gonna think that sucks because I like the movies when they came out, but
Ooh, that's a good
they're very
interesting thing.
90s.
I
They're
still
very
watch it.
90s.
I watched one recently, just like a
I
year or
haven't
two
seen them
ago.
really. The thing is, I never saw them after the theater. I saw them all in the theater, and that was it.
I
I
only
think
saw
I
the first
missed
two
one
in
in
the
the
theater.
theater.
Only saw the
I
first two
probably
in the
didn't see the
theater.
third one.
The second
What
one
was the
is
first?
more. The first one is like is a lot
I
darker.
saw the
The
first
most
one.
darkest
Yeah, I
one.
saw the first one.
But then
I'm
the
pretty sure I
second
saw
one
the
is
second
more
one.
kid friendly. Is more kid friendly in the second one. You know, because all of
Yeah.
them have lethal weapons that they
Probably.
never actually killed anybody. It's like, you know what I mean? Like those are foot soldiers. They are human foot soldiers. They're not robots.
I did see the one. What was the other one? I think I saw the 2000, the one that Ninja Turtles that made in the 2000s. I think I saw that one too.
The one is it the anime one or like the live action?
No, the live action.
The with Megan Fox.
Yeah, the one was Megan Fox. I saw that one too. Is that the third one?
No, just
Okay.
the one Megan Fox is. What do you
What
mean by
would
the
that be? A
third one?
fourth one?
It's like the Weeper, so it would be the first one. Technically, it's the first one.
Well, technically, yeah. Well, let's quit. Well, I'm going to count it as the fourth one if they made three and then they made this one
Oh, I would say the fifth
because it's
one.
not the first one.
The
I mean,
fifth one. There's
it's
one
probably
where Chris
considered
Evans. Is it Chris
a reboot,
Evans?
and
I
it's
can't
the
remember.
first one.
There's one called TMNT, an anime one back in 2000.
I never saw any of the animes unless it
That
was. Yeah, I just watched it on TV.
that one has a scene where everybody wanted to see is Leo fighting Ralph
Okay, yeah, I
in the
didn't see
rain.
this.
That was
Well, we just need
awesome.
to go back because we're not even supposed to be talking about Ninja Turtles.
No, but you were talking about the comic stuff, right? Like, let me bring it
Yeah.
back to the point. Like,
Okay.
like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic is really dark, and Cho they comic
Unless you get the
it.
Archie, yeah. Unless you
No,
get
not
the
even the
Archie.
Archie. I didn't even know about that. But like the
Oh,
cartoon
you
of
didn't.
the
That's the.
Teenage Mutant
I
Ninja
see. Here's the
Turtles,
sad thing. Yeah.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon is when they took the source material and completely changed it to where like different from the comic book. They only work one
Yeah.
comic
Well,
book, and then
in a
that's it.
way. Well, see,
'Cause-
that's the thing, though. I never saw that first comic book. See, I just saw the cartoon,
yeah,
saw the figures.
yep.
and then started reading the comic book. But it wasn't the comic book
No, it
because it was
was
made by Archie's,
yeah, Big
and
Archie comic.
it wasn't even based really on the cartoon. It's loosely based on the cartoon, so it was
So
almost a
there's the
whole nother story.
own thing.
So yeah, and then later on, I realized, oh, there was actually a Teenage Mutant Ninja comic book because it always says Eastman and Lard's
Yep.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Archie comic book, so I assumed that was it. But then I saw it was made by somebody else. I was like, so there's another
Yeah.
deal. So I got kind of ripped off in a way. But
It's like a
the
revenge
problem is
story.
I didn't know any better, so I didn't even know any better.
Yeah,
So
nobody does until
I
we're
never saw the
older. Like,
story.
oh, okay, there's another comic book.
So this
So
isn't the original. So yeah, the whole time we
I
watched
would
the
say the
Teenage Mutant Ninja
movie
Turtles,
it
we
was the
watched
closest.
we watched the one to sell figures,
Yes, to sell toys to kids, to market to
to
kids.
sell toys. Because if you just stayed with the original comics, yeah, there's nothing to
I
sell
remember
now.
Eric said that was darker too, kind of like Judge Dredd, like where they changed the source right to make it fit what they just retelling the story, like you said, like the Archie one. This is the Archie version of Judge Dredd that we saw.
Yeah, this I would
This
say
right
this is kind
here.
of the Archie version of Judge Dredd.
Oh, it's definitely like they if they can't. There's no way to make a Ninja Turtles movie or maybe Judge Dredd without like we don't want to make it all like we want more people to see it and so we could sell Happy Meals and stuff.
Yeah, but sometimes the original story is better.
Yeah, you and I
It
both
had to
agree
be
on
better.
that.
They had to be
Otherwise,
better,
it has
otherwise
to
they
be.
wouldn't have tried to take it
Yeah,
and
they wouldn't make a
they wouldn't
movie
have took it
about
and
it. Yeah,
ruined it. Yeah, they wouldn't
exactly.
have took it and ruined it.
No, I highly
I
agree with
mean,
that.
for the '90s, I guess let's put it this way: in the '90s, this movie worked because, like I said, I thought it was
But you
good
know
in
what?
the
It didn't
'90s.
even do well, even though you and I both saw it in the theater.
It's a funny thing; it didn't really do that well, but it did do. They said that's what a lot of people said. It said a lot of people didn't like it. It didn't do well, but the problem is it was still number two. But it also went up against what did it go? Oh yeah, Die Hard. Die Hard was it Vengeance?
The Heart with a Vengeance with Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, this went up against that. Matter of fact,
Wow.
Danny Cannon, they said Danny Cannon was actually offered Die Hard with a Vengeance, and he took this over it.
Domestically, it didn't do well. Domestically, this movie didn't do well. It did a lot better internationally
Yeah, it did it better in Europe and stuff.
because they probably know the comic book, nerds over there and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah, they're probably like, oh, I've seen this. We're over here like, what is Judge Dredd? A lot of people are like, oh, this is a RoboCop ripoff.
Well, I didn't know it's Judge Dredd just because me, my cousin, and Cody went to see this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Cody, or just maybe me and my cousins. Because this came out in '95, so yeah, so probably just me, Cody, and Jimmy. I want to say. Wow, this is rated R movie. I wasn't even 17 yet by this time this movie came out.
that's the thing. Maybe I didn't see this in the theater, but I would have been old enough.
Yeah, you would have been old
See, I
enough, right?
can't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I can't remember if I actually went and saw it in the theater or not. I thought I did. And I
Oh,
thought
I
that's
see.
what caused me to.
Demolition Man I didn't see in the theaters, but this one I saw in the theater. It's probably
Yeah,
because
Demolition Man. I didn't see it. I didn't see a lot of up until this. I didn't see a lot of things. It's about when Judge Dredd come out. That's when I started seeing more stuff in the theater.
uh, this sucks. Wow, I thought I had more to say about this movie, but then like talking to you make me realize
And
this
now I'm
movie does
sorry.
suck. No, this movie does suck because I realized that like the law doesn't make sense, but they never like makes mistakes, but they never touch on that. Like I thought the ending was gonna be like, oh, let's make things for the better.
They
Like
didn't.
no,
They didn't really touch on a lot of stuff. They just kind of glossed
just
it over
bought
with
it and then that's
action.
it. Yep.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, they're like, oh, it's getting too serious. Let's tell a joke. It's getting too serious. Let's shoot a bunch of
This is not
stuff.
what a comic book movie does. Okay.
Because I mean, it should have been more serious when he went and killed that. Yeah, when he went and killed that. Well, he didn't kill it, but they're supposed to like act like they killed a reporter who's actually going to uncover stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really even seem like the reporter was really that close. And then it should have threw all the city into an upheaval because he killed the reporter. But the people in the town didn't
Oh,
really care.
let me say something that I didn't like also in the movie when he killed the reporter, right? So all the evidence they have is like oh he did this, but there's no like alibi where like where was Judge Jet like where was he at that time? There's got to be other people,
I
right?
know
They
that's
didn't
what I
touch
was
it at
thinking
all.
when they're
I'm like,
watching.
what the heck?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking when I was watching that court scene. I was like, also you're going to base it all on videotape, but they know where all the judges are all the
Yeah, they
time.
know what all the judges are all the time. Like what the heck?
But
I don't understand that. There's
somehow
no
Judge Dredd
record.
is in this other, Judge Dredd is in this other location, arresting people, and he somehow just shows up to this place
Yeah.
apartment and shoots him with his own gun.
Yeah, his bike is there, like, but he's like someone controlling the bike. Like, doesn't the motorcycle have the same technology as the gun? Like, hey, only that judge can ride a certain bike. Like, there's no
But the problem
alibi.
is Rico. The thing is, Rico would have been able to use all his stuff, which that I get that.
But then
Rico can
Rico
use
can
his
use all his
gun.
stuff, right? That means like there's two Judge Dredds out there. Then
There should have been two Judge Dredd
yeah,
running around. Yeah,
there's like you
but
just
Rico
based
probably
on
never even
video.
used the bike. Yeah.
It feels like a Chinese drama from the 80s. Like, oh, the video shows this, okay. There's like, it's kind of like, that's why I make fun of, like, every time I do something on, go somewhere, I should always post it on Facebook. So that way, like, I have my alibi right here. I don't have to depend on whatever. I depend on technology because I'm recorded all the time. Oh, I'm at Burger King,
Yeah.
so I can't commit the murder. You
Yeah.
know, I'm right here, right now. I'm streaming
Yeah.
live.
But the thing is, even by what we know now, at
Yeah.
this point in time, you could fake video easily
Yeah,
now.
yeah, you can fake video
I
easily
mean, it's
now.
just, I mean, we got like the president of the United States dancing with all kinds of people. I mean,
Yeah, whatever you want, they do for you.
yeah, I saw a little cat. I saw a little cat make a salad. Okay, it looked real. But we know the cat didn't cut up the cucumbers and the tomatoes and make a salad. Okay,
We're able to make Photoshop into real life now. Fake
yeah, we
videos
can
and
make.
stuff.
I mean, there's people remaking movies like set in the 60s using 60s looking characters. It looks almost real, but I know Burt Reynolds was never Iron Man. But if you watch it, if you get on Facebook, he was.
Were you the one who sent me like if the Avengers were in the 90s and they used the famous, like you're right, like it looks like,
I think I did.
yeah, like
Because they've
they
done
have
it several
Tom
different
Cruise and
ways.
Iron Man and like Thor was
Well, I
played
didn't
by
see
Brad
that
Pitt.
one. But they did
Yeah.
one in the 80s where it had Burt Reynolds, as Iron Man. I forgot all the characters.
Did you send me the SNL one? Like the bad boys of SNL from the 90s, like Mike Myers, Rob Snyder, David Spade,
Oh,
Chris
I
Farley.
didn't send that to you.
They
then.
put them in the Avengers stuff. Like, oh, that one
Oh,
was
I didn't
pretty
send
good.
that one to you. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that one was pretty good because like I like that cast from the 90s SNL. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Like,
So, yeah.
yeah, that bothered
And
me a lot.
And the thing is, at the time, it was cool. All that computer technology in the 90s was fine. But now we're here where it's like, that looks really crappy
Yeah, it's
for
very
the year
dated. Yeah,
21. So, way too dated.
yeah, because you never know what the future technology can do. Like we know now, like with
Well,
2,100 something. Like, come on.
some people, I think, can guess it right. But most of the time, yeah. Because you're just not, you're just not in that mindset. I mean, you're a movie maker. You're not a futurist.
Yeah. You're just trying to tell a story. Like, even people who wrote the comics books might not know, like, you have to be way far advanced, I mean, right now, the only thing, like, we really don't have is the, recognizing the DNA with the gun. We can't do that yet.
I think they kind of had a way they did
The
it, but
fingerprint,
it's more
yeah.
prints.
Yeah,
it's
it's more
more
prints,
prints
yep.
or something.
But not the
There's
heat
there, yeah,
signature of DNA.
there is
yeah.
a gun. Yeah, there was a gun. There is actually a gun that I don't think it uses your DNA, but it does know it's
you.
key to the user.
Yeah.
But I think you have to have a chip or something to you.
Yeah, and then it's not as fast as we want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
then
gun-
also that to me would be also dangerous to you as a police officer. I mean, it keeps somebody from kidding you with your own gun, but
Yeah.
the problem is something could go wrong and you don't have a gun.
Yeah. That's always that. So right now we're not there yet. I actually trying to look for a Judge Dredd helmet. Like it's impossible to find. Like this
Oh.
one. You would have to make
well,
your
I've
own.
seen people online. Yeah, I've seen people online make them. I've never
Yeah.
seen one for sale.
Oh.
And I actually like the Judge Dredd helmet. And this is cool. I like the one in Dredd better though.
Oh yeah, because it's smaller. You know what I've based this on, Shane? Let me tell you something. So Judge Dredd, right? The uniform is big, the helmet is big, and then in 2012, in NFL, the same things like that. The pad used to be bigger, the helmet used to be bigger, but now, right, with technology, we could use less, but the protection is still better than those big old shoulder pads and the big old helmets from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but the problem is in the comic books. I mean, he wore.
It's big, yeah. It's the big ones, yeah.
I mean, the
Hold on, let me
helmet
see.
was kind of the helmet was kind of ridiculous.
If you think
Look at all
about it,
that
the
crap,
helmet
dude.
should be big because it's your head. Then there's an outer layer on it,
Yeah.
Kind of
So,
like, you know what doesn't make sense? The size of Iron Man's helmet is too small. Because like if you think about it,
yeah,
like,
well, it's
too
supposed to make him
small.
look slender. Yeah, but it's supposed to make him look slender.
Because the Iron Man is supposed to look like a regular human without the armor, but like, the helmet is
To a
too small,
point, yeah.
man.
Well, it's pretty thin, but I mean, he's got like some of the best armor in the world, so you don't have to make it too thick.
No, but then you still got to be big enough to fit a human. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
but you can
saying
actually fit his head
the
in
Iron
there.
Man human, like the Iron Man helmet, is the same size as a human head. I'm saying like it's just got to expand a little, kind of like a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
But like, it's just too small.
Motorcycle helmets are pretty small too nowadays.
Yeah, but then like you still gotta make sure you fit the face so it's a little bit bigger than a human-sized head. Like all helmets should be bigger than a human-sized head, except for the Iron Man helmet. Like it's the same size as a human-sized head.
You want it, yeah, because it's supposed to be like more like skin than a helmet.
Right, but it's still gotta but it's not skin though. Ooh, excuse you. Ooh, bless you.
For Robert Downey Jr., it was his skin. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to have a big bulky helmet. That would just look silly.
I think so. Like like the big
like
bulky
Boba
helmet
Fett.
looks too.
It won't look right.
I don't know for the Mandalorian and
For the Mandalorian, it looks
Fett,
cool.
It looks
cool
okay.
helmet,
It looks cool helmet.
Because we got used to it and we like it.
But it can't be too small. Like Magneto's helmet. Magneto, but then you see his face though. It's still
his
very tight.
Thin. Yeah, well, some people wear clothes that it just don't fit them. It's just life.
Yep.
It's not like they're wearing pants that don't fit them. So I guess it'd be all right.
Well, I think we're gonna cut it short here, but until then, right?
Well, it's not really short. I mean, it's not that short.
Well, I want to cut it short.
How many minutes is the show?
But like, I want to.
Because you don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, that. But
then I'm surprised they didn't have any like fast food places, like show us a McDonald's or Taco Bell. Still,
I think they show a lot of stuff in the background. We just didn't pay attention to it. There's a lot of name brands in the background, like
Well, they use like a lot of people that made stuff or produced the movies. They use their names.
Oh, you know what? It's because
there's no
because we're looking for American stuff. It's probably like England stuff. I don't know.
Well, but you got to think most movies though, when they make them like this, like even Demolition Man had Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, yeah.
Or Pepsi.
But I don't think they would be able to put
there
Taco
was no
Bell
brand
in because
there was no brand placement in this movie.
No.
They could have. I mean,
that's why
I think they would.
That's why I want to end it on. Until then, right? We need to figure out how to eat recycled food.
Yeah.
Out. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.